Hi, this is Brian from Moment to Ponder, again on our flu, sickness, illness, preparedness, whatever extravaganza, episode 4. So check out the other episodes if this is the first one you're seeing. Yeah, so this one's actual treatment of illness. And you know what? Again, I'm not a doctor. Don't be stupid. Go see a doctor if you can. If you can't, these are some guidelines. Don't sue me though. I ain't a doctor. I'm telling you that right now. Right? These are mostly common sense things to think about. You're gonna probably need a thermometer. It's a good idea to have, especially if you have kids. And you know what? If you're sick, or even if you're helping somebody else who's sick, have a notepad and paper and just write down time. You know, whenever you're doing these things, so you can look back and see if there's a trend, or if things get worse, you can take that into your doctor. Good thing I didn't even write that down here. I should have. But that's a good thing to do. You know, just say, hey, took this much of this at this time. Check the temperature. It was this, etc., etc., etc. But a word of caution. I don't know how many doctors are going to tell you this, but I know our pediatrician did. Don't always treat a fever. Fever's there for a reason. That is your body trying to cook away the bad, right? Now, a super high fever, obviously you want to treat. That can be a problem. But if you're running a 101, a low 102, unless you're in pain, don't take a fever reducer, Advil or ibuprofen or acetaminophen, Tylenol, right? If you can avoid it, try to avoid it. Especially with kids, it slows them down, and there's a reason that you want them to, you know, if they're feeling okay, but they still have all that crap in them, they're not getting better, right? If they're in pain or whatever, sure. But I just saw a news story, it just came out, you know, fevers are good for children when they're sick, to a point, you know. 103 and a half is not good. 103 at all, I'm thinking. You know, of course, deal with your physician, and it's the age of the child and all those things. Ask your physician. But, you know, to a point, a medium to low fever is a good thing. It slows you down. It makes you sleep. These are things you want to do. It burns off the bad. It's your body fighting. It's a good thing, okay? So stop. Let it work if you can. Some other treatments. Well, if you got the trots, the yuck, the bad, you know, mud butt. I gotta say mud butt again. I know. Imodium. Right? Liquid form, there's pill form. These little green tablets like this, right? There's also, you know, it's loperamide is the drug. There's a generic Imodium. Might as well get the generic. There's always cherry mint flavor. Oral solution for kids, usually because they can't take pills. You know. For kids, take the advice on the bottle. I don't want to hurt anybody's kids. I don't want to hurt anybody, adults either, but kids can be a little more sensitive. So here's the deal with Imodium. Do not give Imodium, loperamide, antidiarrheals if you have bloody diarrhea, or you suspect dysentery or giardia or something like that. That you want to just keep getting diarrhea. You want to get it out, right? You're trying to get the bacteria out. If it's a bacterial whatever, you want to flush it out of your system. That's a good thing at that point. But if it's a norovirus, you know, then yeah, you want to try and stop it, because you don't want it to get dehydrated and all that stuff. Also, don't give it to kids less than 2 years old. Blah blah blah. So for adults anyway, the general give 2 tablets or whatever it says on the bottle after the first loose stool, then 1 tablet per loose stool thereafter. I'll usually wait at least 30 minutes, but to a maximum of 8 tablets per day. After that, stop, Might want to put the brakes on at that point. You could have bad things happen. So that's the rules for loperamide, Imodium, whatever you want to call it. What else do I have here? That's painkillers. Let's go with rehydration. Commercial mixes, Pedialyte, whatever. Again, this is going to be in the baby aisle, usually near the baby formula. That's usually where you find this stuff. It gives a little bit of sugar, some sodium and potassium. That's what you need, right? And a lot of water. Keep that. Okay, so you can do that. You can do Gatorade, right? That's got some sodium and potassium in it, some sugar, obviously. Tends to be a little too sweet, technically, so not really the best solution. But if you're not overly dehydrated, some of this, and then, like a glass of Gatorade, a glass of water, mix them back and forth, you're probably alright. Or you can make your own oral rehydration solution, which is, I didn't even bring the other part, right? It's sugar. So you take a quart or a gallon, whatever, or not a gallon, quarter or a liter, right? This much of clean water. Obviously not infected water. That would be not a good idea. But assuming you have clean water, just a quarter, a liter, whatever of that. 8 teaspoons of sugar. And remember, 3 teaspoons is a tablespoon, so you can get away with doing 3 tablespoons of sugar. Either way, but you're going to need a teaspoon. Because you can do 1 teaspoon of table salt, and 1 teaspoon, if you can get it. So it's a good thing to stock up on. Morton light salt, or the equivalent. This is potassium chloride, and it's got some sodium chloride in it too, but it's a lot of potassium, and that potassium helps create a balance between the sodium and potassium. If you can't do this, pour some orange juice in there, like a quarter of a cup, half a cup in there. That'll help get some potassium. The ratios are a little not as good, but it's better than nothing, right? Or some mix up some banana in there, or just eat some banana. But if you're having a hard time keeping things down, the chunky, that's not going to work as well. But anyway, if you can't get any potassium in there, fine. Sodium's more important than the potassium, but the potassium is helpful, right? You mix all that together, and now you have basically Pedialyte. Who knew? Again, you can do soda. There's usually a lot of sodium in here. Not a lot of potassium, but there's sugar and sodium. The other good thing about soda is most of it, this particular has citric acid, but most of them have phosphoric acid in them. And phosphoric acid is a very good anti-nausea cure. Sip it. Sips. And it helps settle the stomach. The carbonation and the phosphoric acid. In fact, you can buy, and I got some upstairs for the kids, like cherry flavored anti-nausea medicine, which is basically dextrose, phosphoric acid, and water. And it just helps settle the stomach. So again, that's, it's not an old wives' tale. I'm giving you a 7-Up or whatever when you're not feeling good. NyQuil is, we're off rehydration. We're on to painkillers and other drugs. So NyQuil, and I'm putting that as a category, it's really like cold medicines, right? You got NyQuil, cough, that's like the cocktail medicines. Like I said in one of the other videos, be careful with your cocktail medicines. A lot of them have acetaminophen for pain. If you're already taking acetaminophen and you take this, you have the potential for overdose. Be careful. Just, you're probably not going to hurt yourself with one, if you're taking a normal amount of acetaminophen and you take the recommended dose of NyQuil, you're probably okay. But if you do it over a long period of time, not a good idea. Stop. Don't do it. Take Advil and then your NyQuil. Those two aren't going to build up on each other. Okay. If you really need to, but regulate yourself properly. Follow. Don't mix if you can avoid it. You also got like guaifenesin, which is a cough suppressant, right? I don't know. That's dextromethorphan. Delsum, right? Cough things. Sudafed, Mucinex to help break up any lung cookies you've got going. Things like this. Follow those directions. Ibuprofen. So everybody's like, I'll take 18 ibuprofen and just knock out that pain. Ibuprofen, as far as pain is concerned, is really only good up to about 400 milligrams for an adult. So that's two normal pills, right? 2 to 400 milligrams is really all that's going to help you with the pain. If you have inflammation, taking another one, 600, that's kind of technically prescription strength. It may help with the inflammation more, but it's not going to really give you much more pain relief. Then you got, so this is ibuprofen or Motrin, right? Very common. Then you've got Tylenol or acetaminophen. Like I said, don't mix that with other cocktails. And try to avoid alcohol with that too. It works on the liver. And people have died from it. It's somewhat, not common like it happens every day, but it happens. So ibuprofen will take care of muscle aches and fever. In the adult, 2 to 400 milligrams for pain, a little bit higher for inflammation. Again, follow your doctor's directions. Every 6 hours. So 1 to 2 tablets every 6 hours. For children, follow the dosing on the bottle, but it's 10 milligrams per kilogram of ibuprofen every 6 hours is the proper dosing. Tylenol or acetaminophen, it's good for fever and headaches. The adults is 500 to 1,000 milligrams every 4 hours, so that's 1 to 2 extra strength every 4 hours. Kids, the official dosing is 15 milligrams per kilogram. Allegedly, you can go up to 20 with a fairly good margin of safety, milligrams per kilogram every 4 hours. And then you got other pain relief, naproxen or aspirin. They don't tend to be as good for cold and flu type symptoms. And aspirin is definitely not for children. So remember that, right? I already went over the pop and anti-nausea stuff. So how do you treat? I just gave you the different drugs, how to do rehydration. Try and keep them hydrated. Check for hydration. You can squeeze the fingernail and see how fast the color returns under there. If it's within a second or so, like almost instant, that's good, right? If it takes a while and you're like, you're counting, it's too long. They need more liquid. If a baby is crying but they don't have any tears, better get them some liquid fast. And if you don't get that fixed fast, go to the hospital. Big time problems, especially with an infant. You can also pinch the skin. You should see it return immediately. If it kind of goes, right? Not enough liquid. That's dehydration. That's pretty severe at that point. So if you can get somebody to consume, at that point, rehydration solution, the mix I told you to make, do it immediately. Get them, and if they can't hold it down and they're constantly puking, get them in the hospital or to the doctor or whatever. You want to keep giving liquids until normal urination patterns happen. So they should be urinating every couple hours. My kids are having a hard time holding stuff down, so we were okay with, sips for a day or so, because they never got overly dehydrated. And then once, a day or two, once they could hold it down, without vomiting, bam, start drinking, and just, start shoving it in their face. So, other treatments, rest is huge. Neti pots for sinus stuff. What else? Rest. Lots of sleep. Inactivity, laying there and just sleeping and sweating it out. So, I hope you like this series. There's a lot more information on another channel called Survival Medicine. Check that channel out. I'll try and put a link down below. I got a lot of my drug information from him. Eric over there is a great guy. He's a real doctor, unlike me, I don't even play one on TV. Please feel free to subscribe to me. Subscribe to him too. Comment, like, all that jazz down below. Check out the website, momenttoponder.com, momenttoponder.com. It should go right about there. Check that out. It's a pretty good site for my podcast, and check out my other videos. They're somewhat entertaining, especially if you need to change a hot water heater thing. It's all in the videos. Have a great day as always.